Since our initial article on the subject of GMO or genetically modified organism, there has been a massive shift to the general approach of GMO, and the questions, whether this is just conspiracy or fact, have long been clarified. We must add that since the beginning, for many of us, this has never really been a question at all. However, this still is not so much the case for the larger public, or else there would not be the need for such a video. Believe it or not, the majority of the population either simply don't know about this, ignore it, or don't believe it's actually harming them or their environment. But when talking about fact or fiction, this has changed and the term GMO has flipped to OMG. Media and government have suppressed, belittled or covered this information for so long and will most certainly continue to try and do so. It's people like you and us that need to make the media in order to inform the broader public and make them understand the consequences.
This is Mike Adams, the Health Ranger, inviting you to join the Monsanto Video Revolt.
The time has come for Monsanto to go.
We are not experiments in a science facility.
For quite some time now, French researchers have secretly studied this subject, and 200 rats were fed with transgenic maize and Roundup. Tumors, serious disorders, and in general some horrific images were the results. The results were shared publicly. Just search the news for this and you will see. At the same time, this has completely exposed the GMO industry, and in our opinion particularly Monsanto and company. But regardless, really, before we go into the, shall we say, hard to swallow results of the study, we feel the need to share some facts about Monsanto and its roots, for those that do not already know this. The Monsanto Company is an American multinational agricultural biotechnology corporation. It is a leading producer of the herbicide glyphosate, which it markets under the Roundup brand. Monsanto is also a leading producer of genetically engineered seeds. Some have said that it has been Monsanto's aim to fully own all seeds across the globe and put it under a so-called copyright agenda, making it illegal for a regular farmer to produce and harvest his own seeds for further reproduction and forcing him to go through, or via Monsanto, or then one of its manufacturers. When looking at Monsanto's history and roots, it's actually rather disturbing to even allow such a company to be in partial control, let alone be involved in the production of food and nourishment. However, here is a summary, as short as we could make it. All of this information is publicly available and acknowledged. Monsanto was founded in 1901 by John Francis Keeney, a man who attended school for a full 6 years and is crowned a 30-year veteran of the pharmaceutical industry. One of the first products distributed by Monsanto was the artificial sweetener saccharin, which was sold to the Coca-Cola Company. Studies on laboratory rats during the early 1970s linked saccharin with the development of bladder cancer in rodents. As a consequence, all food containing saccharin were labeled with a warning. In 2000, this was then removed again, as new studies showed that rats are not all that alike with humans after all. Oddly enough though, in the meantime it's been made public that rats are the perfect test subjects to compare and test the effects of a product on a human. But the labels have not been put back on. In 1919 Monsanto expanded to Europe, entering into partnerships with companies to produce vanillin and aspirin with its raw ingredient of salicylic acid, and then later, rubber processing chemicals. Continuing on this nature-friendly path, they ventured into basic industrial chemicals like sulfuric acid, PCBs and laundry detergent. However, one of their really great achievements must be their involvement in the Manhattan Project, the development of the first nuclear weapons and, after 1947, the Atomic Energy Commission. Monsanto also partnered with German chemical giant Bayer to form Mobay and market polyurethanes, which are flexible, high-resilience foam seating, wheels, tires, suspension, adhesives, synthetic fibers. An example is spandex, hard plastic parts, hoses and skateboard wheels, etc. Now, of course they did not stop there, and started to produce insecticide, DDT, which was soon banned in the US due to its toxicity. The PCBs, coolants and insulating fluids that were being produced were also banned. But to continue on a more glorious path, Monsanto was also one of the most important producers of Agent Orange for United States military operations in Vietnam. Agent Orange, simply put, was a herbicidal warfare program that killed or maimed an estimated 400,000 Vietnamese people and 500,000 children born with birth defects as a result of its use. But who cares, right? They must still be the best suited company to control our seeds, foods and farming community. Anyhow, moving on, an important advancement was made by developing the compounds for L-Dopa, which is currently the main drug used to treat Parkinson's disease, but to be honest, not sure of how much of an improvement we have seen in that field. On the other hand, Monsanto did become the first company to start mass production LEDs, which are not such a bad thing, from what we have gathered so far. We all saw some wonderfully dazzling, if not hypnotizing demonstration and display of what LEDs can do at the London 2012 Olympics.
Every arena will soon be home to the world's most ingenious multimedia tool. Our stadiums will never look the same again. The most incredible advertising LED technology. It's new, and it's unlike anything you've ever seen before. Use FanFlash, the world's most efficient and breathtaking media tool. National and international television, plus every fan video uploaded across the internet, will cement your message via FanFlash into the public's consciousness.
Now, just like that, Monsanto scientists became the first to genetically modify a plant cell in 1982, and 5 years later, Monsanto conducted the first field tests of genetically engineered crops. In 1996, Monsanto purchased Agrastus, the biotechnology company that had generated the first transgenic varieties of cotton, soybeans, peanuts, and other crops. Monsanto first entered the maize seed business when it purchased 40% of DeKalb. In 1996, it purchased the remainder of the corporation in 1998. In 1998, Monsanto also purchased Cargill's seed business, which gave it access to sales and distribution facilities in 51 countries. In 2005, it finalized the purchase of Seminis Incorporated, a leading global vegetable and fruit seed company. This made it the world's largest conventional seed company at the time. In 2007, Monsanto and BASF announced a long-term agreement to cooperate in the research, development, and marketing of new plant biotechnology products. Dear Monsanto and supporters, well done. Or, well done? For all your achievements, if that's what one should call all this. As an additional note to this, part of the current listed board of directors members, in Monsanto listed on Wikipedia are South Dakota State University, Connected Energy Networks at Cisco Systems, McDonald's USA, Health Technology Networks, the Procter & Gamble Company. Not to mention that ex-Monsanto leaders today form part of the US government and are part of the FDA, where better to be positioned A. Now to the results of the French studies of GMO and Roundup. First off, it must be mentioned that one of the initial challenges was to get hold of GMO corn from any manufacturers, as Monsanto imposes that the corn must not be used for testing. Also, the strain of GMO that was tested is that which is consumed mostly in the US, but also the one that has been accepted for import into Europe. The effects only started showing after month 4 of testing. Another little side note on an odd coincidence here: all previous tests run by Monsanto usually ran for 3 months. There were 6 times more deaths of the GMO rat groups compared to the controlled groups. 94% of the tumors found in the rats could be translated to 20 centimeters and plus tumors in humans, and typically found as breast cancer in a woman and kidney cancer in a man. The major finding, though, is the fact that, contrary to expectations, it wasn't even so much the pesticides that seemed to have these terrible effects, but by interfering with the plant's genetics, which the rats had consumed, it obviously affected the rats and killed them. This lifts the thought and conclusions that eating GMO food directly affected the rats' genetics, being the real cause of these horrible deaths. We suggest you watch the video on this study though, to see for yourself. You can find this video here, or then in the About section of this video. It's also available in Portuguese and French. At this point, we would like to note that in this short video, and we say short, because if we would want to highlight all the awful truths about Monsanto and its paths and plans, this would need to become a full-blown documentary. Quite honestly though, simply considering its past and origin, how can we let a company like Monsanto anywhere near our food? The suppression, intrigue and simply disgraceful actions this company has done, it's a never-ending list, which is not about to stop, unless we all take responsibility for even having let them come this far, and stop them now. You may now ask, what to do? Well, if all this is new to you, then please, fully inform yourself, search the internet, and in whatever means possible to you, spread this information, ensure it reaches enough people to stop this freak show. Speak up, share, take part in actions to help stop these mad cartoon scientists. Stop eating it, go organic as much as possible. It's actually really simple in a way. Think about it. If you don't eat and buy it, they have no one to sell it to. This may not always be easy, due to the cost of buying organic food, or simple availability. But please, wake up, don't just ignore it or give up. You must try not to kill yourself and those around you. In the future, keep yourself informed, question everything, and when not sure, try to identify who is benefiting from it. Lastly, you must remember that appearances can deceive, as in the case of Monsanto. Looking at their logo, site, or publicity, you would not have thought they are a bunch of mad scientists involved in warfare and killing millions of innocent individuals, would you? So, stay awake, and wake up. Because it's you that controls what you eat. Thank you for listening. Yours, wakeupmessage.com.